Right, look at this winter jumper, full winter jumper tonight. I'd better move this before Simon moans. Apologies for the confusion. Everything has gone wrong tonight. In fact, it has been the most awfully trying day. Oh, and I haven't turned this down. Look at this. You'd think I'd never done this before. Good evening, my lovelies. How the devil are you? And hopefully you've managed to find me after the confusion. My elderly iPhone 6 crashed. And when it crashed, it went live and then stopped going live. And I had to delete the old one and quickly start a new one. And it has been, my loves, it has been one hell of a day. I mean, oh dear me, what? And I'm going to tell you all about it. But first I'm going to have a glass of wine. And then I'm going to say hello to you properly and see who's here with us. And as usual, I deserve that today. Now then, good evening, Simon. It has indeed been a world of confusion, and you're just there trying to watch it. Imagine having to deal with this confusion being me, having my brain in this head, and all of the things that I've got whirling around it, none of which make any sense at any particular given time, and doing it all in a very rural setting where it's most awfully cold. Really is most awfully cold. That's why I've gone full winter jumper. This has been a bloody good jumper over the years. Oh, I don't smell too badly either. That's nice. Oh, hello, I'm being pinged. Right, yes, okay. They're not waiting, we've gone live. Splendid. Now, so, good evening, KKC. Good evening to Bad Books. Good evening, Ashley Stewart. Jimmy Quinn is with us. Typhoon Cat. Typhoon Cat. Good evening, Typhoon Cat. That's a new name to me. Unless my mind is all over the place. What a day I've had. I'm going to tell you all about it, I promise you. Oh, God, don't look ahead. Don't look ahead. Don't look ahead. Just deal with this message. Don't look at the next one. Birthday reusable ice cubes have indeed been deployed. Thank you very much indeed. The bottle is in the freezer, but the initial glass, which is always not quite chilled enough, is being beautifully and wonderfully chilled by this fabulous birthday gift of some, excuse me, reusable ice cubes. And of course it was my birthday weekend, my loves. And I have to thank all of you for helping to make it as wonderful as it was. And thank you for the lovely cards and gifts and thoughts. And it was all really quite overwhelming. And it was lovely. I had a great weekend. It's been hard work, but really very pleasant indeed. And today has been, as I mentioned, today has been a little trying, probably a little too trying for a man of my advanced years. I mean, I am, as somebody kindly pointed out, I can't remember who it was, I think it might have been one of our American friends, Stephen Espel, but he kindly pointed out on Facebook that I am indeed 1 year nearer death. So thank you for that. That's a cheery thought as I squat here in God's waiting room. Oh dear. Now then, good evening all. What's occurring is a message here from Miss Georgina Rubberbottom. That's why I couldn't look ahead, you see. Miss Georgina Rubberbottom. Right, well, Miss Georgina Rubberbottom, I'm guessing that you are somebody who was kind of here before and has changed your name slightly. I mean, are you by any chance allied to or in a relationship with Mr. George Roger Boaty, who has become somewhat notable on this channel? Georgina Rubberbottom, dear God, oh, these names will be the end of me. TP, I thought it was 10 to. Yeah, it was supposed to be 10, and things happened, and other things didn't happen, and stuff went on, and it wasn't going to be 10. And some of the things that should have happened still haven't happened. It's been a nightmare, my loves. So, yeah, unfortunately, 10 has become 11. And it only became 11 at the second try. So, apologies for the confusion. I could quite happily have just gone to bed and pulled the covers over my head, but I would have missed you dreadfully. And I wanted to catch up with you and bring you up to speed on what's happened. So it's all been the most frightful cock-up, and I apologise. I couldn't be more sorry. Is it 10 years old like the Project Nigel jumper? This is much older than that. This will be, how old will this be? This is about the 20-year-old mark, and it's been around the place a bit. This jumper was bought for when I was spending winters in very, very rural France. Bzz, repetition of very, that's a point to me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was staying with the lovely Jo at a gîte in her farmhouse, which was a 19th century cider farm in very, very rural Normandy. And it was cold. There was no heating. All I had was a go-down stove in the kitchen diner. And yeah, I developed a range of, I didn't develop them. I mean, I didn't bloody raise sheep. And what do you do with fleece? You don't shear them. That's the word. That's the word I was looking for. No, I purchased, well, I didn't actually. The artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty purchased this for me. And it's a tremendously warm, comforting and wonderful thing. And because today is most awfully cold, I deployed it, and I'm not even sorry. So there you go. Simon points out that Miss Georgina Rubberbottom is quite the name. Miss Georgina Rubberbottom says, thanks, I thought of it all by myself. I'm trying to work out who Miss Georgina Rubberbottom is. It's not either of the Traces, unless they're using, hello, I'm being interrupted. I'm being pinged by my cousin, the lovely Helen, who for some reason is sending me PMs rather than commenting here, which is causing the pinging, but she approves of the jumper, so that's nice. Right, yes. So welcome to the Traces, and welcome to GPS OMG. Quite enjoyed that. That can be a new feature. What's the oldest piece of clothing you have? I've got a C&A top, I think. Well, that doesn't tell us how old it is, does it? Unless C&A are Roman numerals. Oh, is C&A an old shop or something? I don't know what C&A is. I knew about Dotty Peas because I used to have to hang her out outside it when a girlfriend went in there, perusing things. Right, Trace just confirms that she is not Miss Georgina Rubberbottom, and goes on to say that she would probably call herself Georgina Massive Botty or something. We have our first hidden message. It will be filth, and it is from, dear me, Dick Fitzwell, aka Carl Davis, who says, it's so cold outside tonight, my balls are, oh dear me, my balls are lower than my, it is, it's bloody cold. And the coldness has contributed to the tryingness of today. I'm going to tell you all about today. So do sit, are we on about, my oldest piece of clothing is a dressing gown from Mothercare that my mother owned when pregnant with me over 51 years ago, says Tracy. And KKC says, my missus used to buy C&A knickers, so she put them on the correct way. Splendid, awesome. Well, jolly good. Now then, I'm going to tell you about my day today. you kind of know about my week. Well, you know about a bit of my weekend. Well, you might know about my weekend. I went to work. I had a birthday on Sunday. On Sunday, I was planning to have roast beef with Yorkshire pudding, and I bought all of the doings, and then it didn't happen because other things happened, and I ended up having sausage and mash with nice homemade onion gravy, and it was jolly nice, jolly nice. You would be able to see it on Boaty's Noshes, except you can't because it's still not uploaded, because I rushed about to get it done before the live, and the checks are, for some reason, on a 1 minute and 52-second video, the checks were, well, they were taking an hour and a half at the last count. They've still not been done. Oh, Lurpak A380 is in the house and says, "Hi, saucy Boaty. An oil filter slipped out of my grasp and nearly fell on my head today. At least it will be noteworthy for a Boaty feature," I thought. One of my favourite features, an ongoing feature, is things that have almost but not quite fallen on you. And I think that's a splendid feature that deserves more recognition. Other features, well, no doubt, OPWAP will reap its ugly head. And remember the new variation of OPWAP, OPSWAP. Old pop stars worth a podgering. That's pop stars who are not quite yet OPWAP age, but who were young when we were young and are now slightly older, as indeed we are. But more to the point, they're still worthy of a podgering. I got force-fed chocolate cake. I did, and I was actually very honoured because that's that's quite an honour. They've bought me cake before for my birthday, but they've never done the family feeding thing. So I was really quite touched with that, even though it was a potential choking hazard. My tip to you. Oh. Yeah, Helen, if you could pop it in the comments here so everybody can see it, that would be great, rather than pinging it privately, because this lot, they don't have access to my private messages, unless it was them that wrote it to me. They've got access to that, but they can't see any of the other ones with the pictures that we won't talk about. Oh, hello, underscore is with us, and I think we should all sympathise with underscore, because as expected, his Rover 25 Streetwise failed its MOT. But it wasn't too bad, was it, Matt? It could have been worse. I mean, that's fairly easily doable. And I think you're getting the head done as well, aren't you? So the Streetwise will battle on for another week. I'm okay. Yes, thank you for asking. I am quite well. It's been a slightly trying day, but I'm jolly well. And the main news about today is just outside there. Guess who? Guess who? Shison. Shison is home. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. And a massive thank you for Captain Mustard for doing such a splendid job to ensure that Shison could indeed make it home. So Mustard is in the house and says, hey, what? Mustard is in the house and would like us all to know that his jumper is over 20 years old, which means that under UK law and legislation, you can have sex with Mustard's jumper and you will not be breaking any sort of law whatsoever. That jumper is over the age of consent. So, you know, form an orderly queue. Jason Donovan? As an op swap. Well, I'm probably not the best to judge on that. How has he aged, old Jason Donovan? I thought you were talking about my Renault 4 van that I owned, as I mentioned in a previous live stream. Was it? No, it wasn't a live stream. It was a video. It was when I was in a car with Mustard. And I had a Renault 4 van with the dash mounted, look, I'm showing you, dash mounted gear change. First, second, third, fourth, and reverse was elsewhere. But the point is, so try and keep to the point, my loves, if you don't mind. The point is, I was with a girl called Donna, who was my first proper girlfriend and who I then somewhat inadvisedly promoted to fiance. That didn't go well. But anyway, the point was that the Renault 4 was called Jace and Donovan. Jason Donovan. You see what I did there? See, it's not a recent thing, this genius with names of mine. It's been going on a while. Oh, and speaking of names, we may have named the caravan, I believe. We did have a discussion about it, but it was... we've had lots of discussions today, and I'm going to tell you all about today. And you will be fascinated. You will, trust me. Splendid, splendid. Judy Tezuki as an op swap. I've got no idea who that is. Somebody tell me who Judy Tezuki is. K-Max, we're working on a rain. Right, jolly good. Yeah, it's not a bad MOT fail, I agree. Mustard says I kept it secret. I don't know what he kept secret, but it's not his jumper, because his jumper is out there, loud, proud, 20 years old, and legal for spousal togetherness situation. Have you got ice cubes in your wine? Says, well, I'm going to call you Carl Davis. I can't keep saying Dick Fitzwell. I'll get banned. Yeah, I do. They are, right. We have an ongoing situation with my wine. Excuse me, to bring you up to speed. Now, my wine fridge is down there and should not be confused with my main fridge freezer, which is there. I've got an under-counter job, which is a wine freezer and a wine fridge and a curry freezer. However, being a small under-counter job, the fridge does not chill the wine to the perfect temperature. So I put the wine in the curry freezer to chill it a little more. And then I forget about it, and Simon shouts at me, and every single live stream it comes out looking like a slush puppy. And somebody, was it you, Bad Books? It was, wasn't it? Very kindly sent me some reusable ice cubes as a birthday present. And the idea being that I can chill my wine without diluting my wine as the ice cubes melt. And they are doing a splendid job, and I'm most awfully grateful. So I do have ice cubes in my wine, Carl, but I will not have them in the next glass of wine, because the next glass of wine will come from the freezer and hopefully won't be frozen. Yeah, oh, right, yes. Simon says, I did message you to see if you need the lift up there to pick them up. And yeah, thank you for that. I did get it. And it wasn't necessary to, I didn't get time to ping you back. I've been, I was busy last night. Today started last night. I had so much to do that I had to start today, yesterday. Now imagine that. And I still had to fit yesterday in. So I'm trying to fit 2 days into one here. And they say men can't multitask. Now, I did appreciate the offer of a lift, but as it happens, it wasn't necessary, because today I took the Honourable HJ Rover to PNHQ and came back in the Honourable Shison. Now, the Honourable HJ, oh, I'm being pinged again. I've just subscribed but can't see how to comment, says my cousin Helen. If you, there's probably a button in the middle, just underneath the picture. You'll have 5 little things, and the middle one should say live chat. And if you press on that, then all of the comments should come up, and you can see everybody else's comments. And you will be able to comment, and they will be able to see your comment, and it will become a community-focused activity. An FCA. I've just made that up, and I'm going to make it sound exotic and interesting. You could be part of our FCA. Somebody remind me about that, because I'll probably forget it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So, the Honourable HJ Rover, my Rover 45 hatchback, facelift, thank you very much. That has gone to PNHQ, and that requires some furdling. It requires an MOT, it requires some exhaust furdling, and it requires some engine furdling, because, and this is what made today difficult, it is not running properly. Now, my idea is that that will be a project car over spring when the weather gets a little warmer, and as you've all been asking me to do, I will do some work on it. I will try to fix it and to do all of the bits and pieces that are necessary and to service it. But I will do so under the supervision of Captain Mustard. And at the same time as doing that, at home, I will do some jobs on other cars under your supervision while I'm live streaming, and you can instruct me. I will be like your glove puppet, if you like, or remote controlled dildo, something of that nature. So I did appreciate the offer of a lift. It wasn't needed this time, but I'll take you up on it next time, because today turned out just to be a swap over. And I'm giving you a visual as well as audio indication of swapping over quite quickly. You'd get dizzy if you swapped over like that. Now where did I get to? Yeah, I've done that. Yes, I've done. Oh, a hidden message from Trace. This will be filth. Tracy is laughing her bottom off at having sex with Mustard's jumper being legal. Well, it is legal. It's entirely legal, and you would be thoroughly within your rights to, well, I mean, I don't know how you'd have sex with it, Trace, per se, but you could have sexual contact. You could indulge in some frottage. You could rub Mustard's jumper against yourself in a sensual and evocative manner. You could video it if you wanted to, and put it on OnlyFans, and probably earn a fortune. But I want commission because it was my idea, and Mustard might want a small commission for allowing you the use of his jumper. Right, that's that dealt with. Kylie is Mustard's suggestion for an op swap, and I don't think many. Oh, I've just looked ahead at the next comment. I shouldn't do that. Mustard's jumper, which hole would you use? And Mustard replied to that with yes. To which KKC replied, you should be so lucky. I don't understand the conversations that go on in comments. They all come in diddly. Harry Paddington, what? Oh, I see. Oh, well, this is a bit close to home, Lurpak A380. Op swap. The Harry Paddington with his guitar in the 90s. Now, this is interesting because you might well think that Mustard would have been incredibly sexy in the 1990s, because back then he would only have been in his late 40s. However, and I say this with total and complete love, Mustard posted a picture on his Facebook account, actually he posted two, of him in the same spot, sort of 10 or 20 years apart. And I have to say, you've aged awfully well, Mustard. You like an old port, Grimsby perhaps, you have definitely improved with age. He's more of a wap now than he was back then. But that's my opinion. And that's a very subjective opinion. So I would like to open it out to all of you. Go to Mustard's profile, have a look at those two pictures, and was Mustard more of a muff magnet then or now? And I say now. And I'm seldom wrong. I was wrong once. It was 1977. Did you have a mattress in the back of the van? No, no, I didn't. We were quite an advanced young couple. We had a bed, not in the van. We had a bedroom and a place to live and stuff like that. Um, trying to, stuff did take place in that van, but we didn't have a mattress. I think stuff took place in the front seat and on the bonnet and in the back door area, but that was a long time ago. Judy Zook, stay with me till dawn. Well, that's from Trace, the Greenwood, who operates one of our community channels, to which you should all subscribe. Anyway, Trace is asking Judy Zook to stay with her until dawn. I've got no idea what she's got planned for you, Judy. You might want to take a rape alarm and some lube. And good luck. GPS, OMG, has still got a jacket from JD Sports, which he bought from Stockport in 1998, and a jumper bought from River Island in 1993. Oh, and somebody else says Judy Zook is a singer. Okay. Lurpak A380 would have a go on Kylie too, given half a chance. Okay. Your car and its MOT, you plank. Okay, what's that in relation to? Oh, you keeping it secret? What? Oh, I don't know. It's been too trying a day to understand that. But it's nice to know that Lurpak A380, my favourite combination of rather splendid fake butter and an exceptionally large passenger jet airliner, would have a go on Kylie, given half a chance. How much of a chance would you need to have a go on Kylie? Hi, Jason. Oh, Sarah Parsons is with us. How lovely. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for coming along. And she asks, how was my birthday party? It was lovely. Thank you. It was all a bit late and rushed because service went on a bit longer than expected. And just as we thought we were done and we'd shooed the guests out of the door, a couple came in at the last minute before we managed to lock the door and sat down, ordered food and had an absolutely storming argument, and didn't eat any of their food, paid and pissed off to presumably file divorce proceedings. So yeah, it was lovely, but it was a bit late, but yeah, it was lovely, absolutely lovely. Just quiet, just family who were at the restaurant, and yeah, it was nice. You know, a little bit of nice food, a little bit to drink. I got force-fed chocolate cake. Joseph is with us. How lovely. Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group says hello to me and all of us. Evening, Joseph. Good to see that the card is still going. Joseph has got a fabulous Jeep that is his official investigation vehicle, and which he's had for a long old time now, isn't it, Joe? And which also earns him a few bob when he's not investigating. And it's been out of commission, and it's wonderful to see it all back on the road and sorted. Although it hasn't got the best heater. Joe is missing his knob. That's right, isn't it, Joe? You're missing your knob. Or is it two knobs? He's missing the knobs that control the blower motor and the hot cold doings. But get a pair of long nose pliers, Joe, and just crank the blower up to high and put it on full hot, because you don't want to be shivering and dithering and having to wear all those layers and your big woolly hat when you're inside the car, do you? Anyway, he's with us and we're very happy about that. Should you be putting wine in a food freezer, asks KKC. The health and HSE wouldn't give you 5 stars. I don't need 5 stars. This is my own private, and I don't see any problem with putting wine in a food freezer. My curries are all tucked away in Tupperware, and my wine is in a bottle. I'd better get it out before it freezes. So I don't see the harm in that. And quite frankly, when I'm at home, I couldn't give a flying arse about the health and safety executive. I have to give an arse about them at work, and I have to put labels on things, and I have to make sure things are clean and things go in certain places, and some things don't go above other things. But in my own private home, they can sod off, quite frankly. Now, I'm going to tell you about today. Oh, it wasn't you that sent the ice cubes. Well, somebody did, and I'm very grateful. It's a really good idea about the ice cubes. Don't freeze your wine tonight. Oh, look, I got it out before I read the comment. Oh, no, Matt, I'm not reading that out. No, absolutely not. No way am I reading that. It's too soon. It's too soon. No, in fact, it's not too soon. That joke is not. No, absolutely not. I mean, it's funny, but no, I draw the line at that. Yeah, quite right, KKC. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly why I'm not reading it out. Absolutely outrageous, although you've amused Trace. Miss Georgina Rubberbottom says, your chatting is fun, so I've just subscribed. Thank you, Miss Georgina Rubberbottom. I'm extremely grateful to you. And she would like to know, what is Ope Thingy? Okay, we've got two Opes on the go. The original feature was OPWAP, and OPWAP is old age pensioners worth of podgering. In other words, people, probably celebrities, who are aged 60 or over, who you still would, if you know what I mean. And that is developed into a sub-feature, OPSWAP, which is old pop stars worth of podgering. And I came up with one in the car today with Mustard, and I can't remember who it was. No, it was Wendy. Oh, Wendy was with us today, and Liz. I need to tell you all about today. It's been a really good day in many ways. In other ways, not so good. But yeah, Wendy reminded me about Shania Twain, who, does she go above Pepsi de Mac as an op-swap? Well, not as an op-swap, as a all-time WAP, all-time 100, top 100 WAPs. And I had Pepsi at or near the top of my list. And I forgot, I mean, Shania Twain in her absolute prime, that's quite the lady. He will freeze the wine tonight. I haven't yet. Peters Street, Lee, welcome home. Opswap, Mrs. Lee. Okay. Advanced apologies, says Joe, for what will be a late birthday present. Hey, it'll be a lovely surprise, Joe, and it's really, really kind of you to send it all the way from America. And the anticipation will make it even more special. Somebody else has explained. OPWAP, Diane Peter. No, I'm not doing this feature. This is outrageous. Right, who's that? KKC and underscore. Stop it. Stop it right now. We're not going there. We are not going there. Although it might interest you to know that in the very old days, what you're suggesting used to be an automatic perk of an executioner. They were allowed to what you're talking about. And I believe the slang term for it is liking your meat cold. But I'm not going there. It's outrageous. This is a community and family channel. And I will not allow filth like... I mean, it's bad enough. You've got me talking about podgering pensioners. And you want me to talk about that? Not doing it. Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Not going there. Dear me. I want to have a reputation as nice, kind, avuncular Boaty, not disgusting. Dear me. Oh, and you're going to try and ship it tomorrow. Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate it. Poor little 45, yeah. Who will buy the gold Rover 25 with 15,000 miles? I almost wanted my car to fail so I could have it. And that's from underscore. Ooh. Yeah, I saw that one. It's a bit pop spec, isn't it? Oh, right. No, it doesn't, Jimmy Quinn. No, it doesn't. That. Oh, God almighty, not more of these. Okay, now we're talking about having sex with Mustard's jumper, and he's asking, would he have to take it off? I imagine that would be optional, Captain. I'm not. Oh, TP, not you as well. I'm not doing this feature. I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to mention it. It's outrageous. Yeah, you definitely came in at the wrong time with all this sexy jumper talk. No. Right, GPS, OMG, says, you said you would do anything for a subscription. Having seen you two, should I read this in advance? Having seen you two so cozy in the caravan, discussing which one would be the, oh no. There are some things that I wouldn't do for a subscriber, GPS, and that is one of them. Dear God, what's going on with tonight's live stream? I wanted to tell you all about my day and get a bit of sympathy and share my excitement. And the things that you lot are talking about are quite frankly disgraceful, and you should be damn well ashamed of yourselves. Simone is with us and wouldn't kick Kylie out of bed. Kylie seems to be universally popular, doesn't she? Are there any? No, I'm not saying that. We want to see Mustard's now and then pics. You need to, well, you would, Mustard, could you make that picture of you? Could you set that to public so that the community can gaze upon you now and then and decide when you are more podgerable? I maintain now, definitely now. Right, okay. Yeah, exactly. Oh dear. Kylie, well, at least I can read this one out. Kylie is small and cute. I'd prefer Danny though. Your haircut has kind of grown on me, Boaty, says our friend Joseph. But why the extreme cut? It's because I can't be asked with doing anything with my hair. Right? I think haircuts are torture. I hate having to sit there and you're constrained and you can't do anything. You can't move your head, you can't play with your phone, you can't work, you can't listen to anything. I hate that. So I do it as little as possible. Well, in fact, until this year, I hadn't been to a barber for about 30 years. So what I do is I save money and I save time. And once a year on Bernard's birthday, I simply completely shave my head, completely bald, razor shaved, all gone, shiny. And then I don't have to worry about it for 12 months when I'm looking like, you know, Ken Dodd with his finger in a light socket again. And then I shave it again once a year, nice and easy. Now this year, because of the YouTube thing, and I didn't want to offend you with a totally shiny head, I went to a barber and had it clipped. But that's why, Joe, I can't be asked with this monthly, twice, 2 monthly, quarterly haircut thing. I mean, they want £10 or the best part of it. I can't afford £10 every couple of months. Dear God, haircuts are for the rich, not for the likes of me. Oh no! Oh dear God. Yeah, I agree, Jimmy Quinn, it is bad. and I'm not willing to read any of these comments out. This whole feature is outrageous, and I would like to completely disassociate myself from it. Oh dear, dear, dear. Why was that message held to review? There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, Joe's had the Jeep for close to 17 years and it blows warm but not hot. Black Lines has joined us. Good evening to you, sir. Right, okay. Kelly, oh dear. Oh God. You're going to have to read these comments for yourself. I don't I don't want to be associated with them. Albert Pierpont, yeah, he bloody would have, KKC. No, I'm not going there. Right, no. Oh, it is. Right, Mustard says the picture is public. So if you go to, right, you need his name, don't you? Paul Roverman. Search for Paul Roverman on Facebook. Have a look at his profile. You will see a public picture of him in the same jumper, but 30 years apart, or 40 years or something. I would, and then answer the question, is he more podgerable now or when he was younger? I reckon he's improved with age and he's much more podgerable now. But, oh, right, okay. Oh, any toast rack news? Well, I got a lovely toast rack for my birthday, which I will show you again. I've got them out on deployment here. I got that one. Mustard has received a toast rack thanks to somebody's kindness. That's my toast rack from Matt. I didn't know whether to go for Matt or underscore. But I'd love to hear if anybody else has got any toast rack news. Sarah Parsons is looking for a toast rack too. I totally want one. If you can't find one, Sarah, and you'd be okay with just a plain one, PM me your address and I'll send you one of mine, because I have toast racks to share now. Ali Mack is with us and has his hair shaved most of the year round. Loads of toast racks on eBay, says TP. Who's Bernard and what's that got to do with haircut? Asks GPS. OMG! Bernard is, who is Bernard? Bernard is a lady that, I don't know how to describe Bernard. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the Bernard story, shall I? If I haven't already. I probably have, and I'm repeating myself. Bernard was a lady that I went on, I don't think it was the first date, but one of the first dates I went on after I got divorced. But it was the first date that went particularly well, if you know what I mean. And we met in Ashbourne at a pub called the Stepping Stones. And we got on most awfully well. And we had another date the following week, after which she came back here to Windy Bottom. And I had a day off the next day, and basically we went to bed for about 18 hours. And then we had a sort of now and then dating thing, and I fell head over heels for Bernard. I called her Bernard, by the way, because she wouldn't tell me what her real name was, because she's there's a celebrity connection, and she had been a bit of a naughty girl at one point and got in a little bit of trouble, which kind of reflected badly on some celebrity family members and some. Anyway, she wouldn't tell me what her name was, so I told her I was calling her Bernard, and I continued to do so after I found out what her real name was, and I fell head over heels for Bernard, and over so much so that I proposed to her. And she said that she loved me very much indeed, and married somebody else and had a child with them. And but we still got, she then separated, and we had another couple of dates after I split up with Chinese Madam. And basically, I propose to her most nights, and she gives me a ring every now and then, or sends me the odd message, and that's about it. I think she's in a relationship with somebody else at the moment, although she did ring me on Friday night to wish me a happy birthday. But I wasn't drunk when she rang, so I didn't propose to her. But I can do that later tonight. There's plenty of time, isn't there? Right. Oh, Ron McCulloch is with us. Hi, Ron. Joe says, I'm going to start a protest. Make a sign and stand on the street, and the sign will say, haircuts are for the rich. They bloody are. Who the hell can afford £10 every couple of months? I certainly can't. I paid 15 quid for clippers, says Black Lions. They paid for themselves 1,000 times over the cost of a barber. Yeah, well, that's what I did. I bought clippers, clip, 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 and then shave, 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 shave. Although, I think my clippers are broken. And I'm not certain because I can't test them because I threw them away. Right, okay. Hey? Oh, God above. You lot will be the death of me, although you are hilarious. Okay, somebody has named themselves TV license. So I've got a retracted message here from TV license, and I strongly suspect that that is in response to a rant on my birthday live stream about being chased up for a... I've still got the letter here somewhere. Oh, maybe I threw it away. I'm constantly being told I'm under investigation for not having a TV license. I don't have a telly, so of course I don't have a TV license. But somebody has gone to the trouble to either create an account or rename an account as TV license, just to put the raving shits at me. And I think that's hilarious, and well done, whoever that is. Okay. Right, we've got our first answer on mustard. And Trace agrees with me that mustard is more podgerable now, but I still wouldn't have kicked him out of bed for eating toast then. I don't reckon he was a wap then. He's a wap now, I'll give you that. But I'm not sure he was then. But clearly he was to you, and that's what counts. Simon's picked up TV license, another quality name. Oh dear me. Oh yeah, eggs are a problem here as well. Oh yeah, classic. Who was it? It was. Who was it that did the rude version of Living Next Door to Alice? It was Chubby Brown, wasn't it? With somebody else. Eh? Oh, Boaty's guests do not approve of us podgering their kind. And KKC replies, perhaps he is podgering one. He seems quite sensitive. Goodness gracious. Was Bernard's name Lola? No, it wasn't, and it isn't. I'm not going to tell you her name because that would be indiscreet. I'll probably tell you after another glass of wine. But she'll always be Bernard to me. And I will keep proposing to her unless somebody else comes along. Oh dear, hang on, if you propose, you should be giving her a ring. Oh, I see, that's a telephone joke. Very funny, Simon. Well done. That was quite good. Another retracted message from TV license. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Bollocks! What have I just done there? Oh dear. I think I've just made TV license a moderator of the chat. I didn't mean to. Can anybody tell me what these retracted messages are? Are they filth? I took a lady out for a date, says underscore. She said it was the smallest meal she's ever been given. Is there a van parked outside my house? I don't care if there's a detector van. I haven't got a TV. Let them detect. What are they going to detect? For God's sake. I've upset somebody. There was noise then. There's a little bit of noise from upstairs. One or more of the ghosties are having a bit of a party. I took my now wife, says Black Lines, to a buy one get one free carvery on our first date. 10 quid. Simone says Sarah Green from Saturday Superstore. Not a clue. Joe says that just made perfect logical sense. I think my clippers are broken and I can't test the mixer through them out. It's true. Watch. What? Okay. This is, oh dear. Chubby Brown and Smoky, that's right. I've actually seen oh, right. TV License Inspector 777. We are always watching you. I don't give a tinker's tit. I don't care. Look, I'll open the curtains. Are you really out there? I haven't got a television. Watch me all you want. It's your own time you're wasting, TV License Inspector 777. Oh, hang on. TV License Inspector 777. 777 is a Boeing. You're one of the Pingu Concords and A380s and Lurpaks. I wouldn't be surprised if you were all the same person with about 17 different channels designed purely to wind me up, which is just absolutely hilarious. The ghosts want a TV. Well, they can swivel. I don't want a TV. Dreadful things. Just sitting still looking at, I don't know how people do it. It's not for the likes of me. I like radio so that I can roam about and do things whilst listening. And I don't mind a podcast. Yeah, I'm quite open to a podcast. And I don't mind some YouTube stuff. I just don't want to be sitting anchored. Oh, excuse me. Please, welcome. The first burp of tonight's live stream. Can't be doing with tellies. No, absolutely not. Hang on. Weren't detector vans fake back in the day? I honestly don't know. Boaty, what are the roads like around your way in this cold weather? Well, that Black Lines, that was what I wanted to talk to you about. And I've kind of caught up with the comments now. So that means I can tell you about my day, which, as I've told you before, started yesterday. Now, yesterday, I had to try and get HJ Rover, the 45, started. And I'd left him sitting there for far too long, all through the cold. I don't know how long he sat there, since his MOT expired. So, what is it, 2 months, 3 months? So, yesterday I went down and I tried to start him off my slave battery and he was just too flat. So, I had to take Sir Arnold down and I jumped him off combination of Sir Arnold and the slave. And what else did I do to him? No, I didn't do anything else at that point. And I moved him up to pole position outside that, look, I'm pointing, outside the front door there. Um, and then last night I got a can of petrol because he was very low on petrol, and he wouldn't have got to the garage or petrol station, if you prefer. It's your choice. Or Joseph, for you, gas station. So I got this can of petrol, and then I had to get up really early-ish this morning after quite a late night, I don't mind telling you, to get him sorted. So I had to jump start him again this morning. I knew I would, but he had something in the battery, so I jumped him easily enough. Oh, that sounds wrong, doesn't it? I jump started him easily enough just off my slave battery, which is in there, by the way, in the pantry. The pantry is for car things rather than food things. There's also there's other stuff in there as well. My Hoover is in there. Normally my mop and bucket would be in there, but I deployed my mop and bucket, and that's actually over there, hiding behind the freezer, which is interesting in an uninteresting kind of way. So I jump started him, and I went to put the petrol in, but within the fuel doings, it's got a little hole that's designed to be just the right size, I presume, for the unleaded nozzle in your petrol station or gas station. And the nozzle on the petrol can wouldn't fit in there. So I had to engineer a solution, and I took forth my cutty spoon. Did I rinse it? I honestly can't remember. I may not have even rinsed it, because I did have curry on Sunday night. Last night, curry. And it was jolly nice too. Because I didn't have curry on Saturday night because it was my birthday and we made some special chicken. Anyway, so I deployed the curry spoon, handle first, to poke open the flappy, and then lodged the bowl of the curry spoon so that the flap remained open, and I was then able to add the petrol. And I had to do some other bits and pieces, and eventually I sallied forth, and it was just starting to hail a little bit as I left, but the roads were fine, bright, sunlit, absolutely lovely, no worries at all, until I got to about, I think it really started in Stony Middleton, and then suddenly, before I knew it, I was driving into a full-on blizzard, and it was extremely cold. And you'll know the road I'm talking about. You've all seen it a million times. The road over the tops that I go over from where I am, from Baslow to kind of Chapel. And anyway, this snow started coming down, and it was immediately settling, and it was freezing, and it was like a whiteout, and the road just became treacherous in the twinkling of an eye, and people just started slipping and sliding and couldn't get traction, and they panicked and they tried to turn around or turn off or park on the verge, and it was a bit chaotic, to be honest with you, and it was kind of a massive overreaction. And I ended up I was delayed by about 40 or 45 minutes. This will all be in a video, by the way. And I ended up just getting annoyed and frustrated because it got to the point where the snow was very intense, but it didn't last all that long. And we were kind of very slowly edging towards where the Peak District weather was ending and the rest of the world weather was starting. And it got to the stage where I just thought, the situation now is caused by bad drivers rather than bad road conditions. Because, there was a point where I could have made perfectly decent progress if I'd have been left to my own devices, but I wasn't. I was impeded by everybody else who couldn't set off, or who were sliding backwards, or were jackknifing their trucks, or just falling off the road, or parking somewhere where they thought the road might be because they couldn't cope with driving on anymore. And it was all a bit of a nightmare. But then, all of a sudden, By the time we got dropping down into Chapel, the snow had stopped, the roads fairly soon cleared, and it was bright sunshine, and it was like the most beautiful spring day. So that was that. The rest of the journey was relatively uneventful, apart from the fact that I was driving a car that wouldn't accelerate properly, that was dropping a cylinder, that the exhaust is blowing its tits off, and was running on fumes because the little bit of fuel I put in to get me to Tesco Hattersley's had been consumed while I was in this snow queue waiting for all those arsewives to get their bloody act together. But it was largely uneventful. And I didn't think about it coming home. Didn't think about it at all, but it got exceptionally cold, and it is now exceptionally cold. And do you know the bit of road I mean when I tell you that I've done Chapel, I've gone right, I've gone under the railway viaduct, I've followed that road through, we've gone past the knackered Freelander on the right hand side, we've gone through the traffic lights with the speed cameras, and then we get to the windy uppy hilly bit, and then I turn left onto that little lane which leads over the shoulder of the mountain where we get that fantastic view of Greater Manchester. You know what I mean? Well, coming that way in reverse, I've come over the lip of the mountain bit, gone down the Wiggly Wiggly, and turned right onto that mainish road, yeah? And suddenly, as I'm going down the hill, round that really sharp corner with the barrier, you know what I mean. You must be as familiar with this journey as I am, but a car was properly flashing its lights at me coming up the hill. And I always take note of that and think, what? And your immediate reaction is to, well, mine anyway, is to slow down. But at the same time as he was flashing me, I saw on the road that there'd obviously been water, melting snow, whatever, rain, whatever it was, had crossed the road, kind of all the way down the hill, and it had just frozen solid, and it was just like a frozen ridged skating rink. And I thought, oh, and I'd slowed down in time so that I was able to I did lock up and slide, because I hit it before I stopped, but I was going so slowly then that it wasn't a problem. And then I was able to just inch down and inch around the next corner, taking it super, super carefully, where I was confronted by flashing lights and police and a load of cars had obviously hit this and just gone every bloody which way. So I thought, right, if that's happened there, then further on the way home, up on the tops, when you're right out in the open, it's going to be properly dodgy there. So I was really on my guard all of the rest of the way home. And yeah, there were some patches which, if you'd have hit them at normal speed, and especially considering where they were, could have been quite nasty. So that's in answer to the question of how are the roads by me. They're bad. And I think I literally only encountered one or two other cars on that exposed stretch of road. So I think people wisely decided to give it a wide berth. It was okay, but if you weren't aware of the potential hazards and you were driving normally, you could very easily have come a cropper. But I think people were quite sensibly giving it the old swerve. Now, there's more about today that I want to tell you before I go. And I'm not going to be super late tonight, my loves, because I'm knackered. And I've got bits and pieces to do. Boaty's noshes still hasn't gone up. Not that many of you look at it, but I like to put it up because it was one of the first things I did. And I like to keep the tradition going. Now then, let's catch up with some comments and then I'll tell you about lunch today. We did a new thing for lunch and it was great and we should do it more. I'm going to make it into a thing before we kick the socials off, and even after kicking the socials off, I'm going to kick these lunches off, which will be on a smaller scale, like with just 1 or 2, because today was great. I really enjoyed it. Now then, comments. Oh, right, Joseph is off. He's on a friend's podcast. Thanks for popping in, Joe. You're probably gone now, but catch you next time, sir. Boaty does engineering, very impressive. I'm a whiz with a cutting spoon. I'm already lost on this story. Petrol, curry, hail. Eh? What did you just watch, Trace? 1850. I presumed it was a vehicle outside, but yes. I'm lost as well. What are you all lost about? What have I said that hasn't made sense? Did anyone notice the strange moving shadows on Boaty's birthday live stream at 18 minutes? Oh, I don't know. Detector vans are fake. Just going back over. Right, yeah, that was TV license stuff. Let's get back to it. Where did I get to? Yeah, I don't know what you're confused about. Changing oil, backstory. How do electric cars cope in snow? Presume battery weight helps. I haven't got a clue, never driven one. Well, have I? Have I ever driven an electric car? Not a modern electric car, no. I've driven a Sinclair C5, does that count? Puts petrol in the car with a curry spoon, car gets a taste for curry and goes on a rampage and attacking delivery drivers to get more and more curry. I lived in the High Peak for 30 years, says GPS. OMG! I know it very well. I was brought up there. I lived in Birch Vale near Hayfield. I know all the roads you've been driving on extremely well. Well, yeah, you would do. So you'll know what I was talking about, where that crash was tonight. Joe deals with bad drivers every day. I love the way that Americans can swear. I'm going to read this out, and I'm going to enjoy reading this message out. I deal with bad drivers every day, says Joseph of the Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group channel, one of our community channels. Do check it out and please subscribe. He supports us, we support him. That's the community deal we've got going on here. He goes on to say, sweet bald-headed baby Jesus. If they podgered the way they drive, there would be less pregnancies and fewer people in the world. You just know that this is a guy you want to get drunk with, don't you? Or have a long road trip with. I'd love that. Let's do that one day, Joe. Let's have a road trip, mate. -1 here, says Black Lines. Feels like -4, apparently. Narrow tyres help. Another -1. Feels like 18 degrees to me. I have the heating on. Oh, well, it would. Right, okay. Don't start talking about food. I'm going to be hungry. Simone says goodnight to all. She's watching the film Scum. Oh, there was a bit of a dodgy scene in that, wasn't there? I remember that. I remember watching that many, many moons ago. Talking about food, as Simon doesn't want us to, lunch today. I'll do the comment, then I'll talk about lunch, then I'm going to bugger off, because I'm knackered. And you lot are all buggering off anyway, so... oh, Joe's still with us. Excellent. Simone is buggering off. Nice defensive comment. Yeah, right. Every time you do the OMG, I jump out of my skin. I know. I am a little tinker, aren't I? 18 months, low mileage. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, road trip would be awesome, Joe. Right, I'm going to tell you about lunch today. And then, no, I didn't win the lottery, Matt. It was a lovely thought, though, thank you. And the excitement that I might was with me all up until I downloaded the lottery app, scanned it, and it said, tough luck, fatty, you haven't got a sausage. So there we are. Miss Georgina Rubberbottom says, good night all, thanks for the fun chat, and her boyfriend needs her attention now. Lucky boyfriend. Have a lovely time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. Lunch. I want to tell you about lunch. So today we had the company of some friends. Now, the fabulous Liz, who I met for the first time today, and who on YouTube is, oh, what the hell is she? I've forgotten her username, and she's not here tonight, so I can't see her to remind me. Something GTI. Somebody tell me Liz's username. I can't remember it for the life of me. Anyway, I met her today for the first time, and I didn't realise, but you know that super flash ZT, I think it's a ZT 190 that Mustard's got in the yard, that he's looking after for somebody. Well, that somebody is Liz, and she has got, and she doesn't live that far from me, she's Stockport way, and she has got an insane collection of 75s and ZTs, all super rare, including, no less, and she has one-upped Beard and Bangers, who has got a ZT 260. She's got a ZT 400, yes, a supercharged V8. And all of her cars are in incredibly rare colours with incredibly rare specs, or they're incredibly rare press cars or some such. And she's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. Oh, and she brought me some, I won't show you, you've seen them before, but she brought me some French fancies, but she was lovely anyway, not just because she brought me French fancies. And wonderfully, Wendy turned up. Wendy Craig turned up. And oh dear, right, okay. And because it was freezing bloody cold in the yard, we went to our beloved, that's the one, thank you Lurpak, Jabberwocky 220 GTI. That's the lady. Anyway, her real name is Liz, and she's a pastafarian, like myself, and she's lovely, absolutely lovely. And what amazing bloody cars. Even if I hadn't have liked her, I'd have pretended I did in case I would get the chance to drive one of her fabulous cars, preferably the supercharged V8. Oh, I'd love to get my bottom in that seat. I think, did Wendy Craig buy lunch? Wasn't it his turn? I'll come on to that in a moment, Simon. No, he didn't. So that's 2 lunches we've had with Wendy, and he hasn't put his hand in his pocket yet. But we went to our beloved Istanbul, but because it was freezing cold and we had company and whatnot, we actually ate in and accepted that we wouldn't be able to do our normal lunch video. And then I kind of thought, well, sod it, why not? So I went back to the car. We went in Eric, by the way, and Wendy had to squeeze into the back of Eric behind Mustard, and that was quite amusing because we put him in dry, no lube. And I went and got my camera and Sonia, my little tripod, and I asked the nice Istanbul man, I said, we're all YouTubers, and would you mind if I borrowed your counter and set the camera up? And he sort of said, oh, that's fine. I said, it'll only be filming us, we ain't getting it. No, that's fine. So I did end up filming lunch. I don't know how it will have gone because it was an unusual situation. But it was really nice to sit in, a nice warm environment. I mean, in summer, it's not a problem to sit at the picnic bench or whatever. don't get me wrong, but in winter, oh God, it's awful. Or trying to eat in the lockup where you're still freezing cold. It was just such a pleasure to sit there like civilized people and have a nice conversation and eat nice food. And the food was very nice. But to eat it off a plate with a knife and fork, although I was the only one who used a knife. The other uncivilized, uncouth people just forked it down like Americans. But it was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it, and it didn't cost any more. So I was thinking that, while we're waiting for these spring socials to kick off, we should do some lunches. Just arrange a little lunch with 2, 3, 4 people who are all free on the same day and are in the same area, and just meet up for a nice lunch and film it and put it on YouTube and in the Facebook group. And I would really like to do that. So if anybody is relatively near me and would like to meet up for a lunch on any day of the week, I would totally be up for it. And if we could arrange like a table of us, 3 or 4, so much the better. And I would like to start doing that. I do enjoy a lunch. I can't do dinner, you see, because I'm always at work. And supper is an ungodly time in the morning of just me wolfing it down here at Windy Bum. But one thing I miss about being in a relationship is the lunches, or are the lunches. I love going. It doesn't have to be anything flash. It doesn't have to be anything posh. I'll eat at McDonald's, you guys know that, and I'll enjoy it. But it's just nice to meet up for an hour or 2 for lunch, and I would love to do that. So if anybody would like to, if anybody fancies that with me, I'll drive a bit, you drive a bit, whatever you like, let's meet up for lunch. I'd love to do that. Or doesn't have to involve me. If you live near to somebody else that you come across in the group or on this channel or on any other channel or any other live streams, why not start doing some lunches and we can mix and mingle. I would even, no, I can't do that. But well, I'd travel, as long as I can get there and back in time for work, I'd be happy to travel, an hour to meet somebody for lunch, or to meet a couple of people for lunch. So that must be kind of doable. That 3 or 4 of us must be within an hour of a central point, and we could just meet up, have a nice lunch, have a nice chat. It's not a lifelong commitment, and we could film it for a bit of fun, and it could become a thing, community lunches, that sort of thing. I just really, really enjoyed today, and I thought that would be a cool thing to do, and it's a lot less formal and a lot less faff than organising a full-on social meet, So yeah, I'd love to do that with some of you guys and girls. And Mondays, you know where I am. I'm in Rochdale along with Mustard. So if you're within striking distance of that, come to Istanbul with us. But literally, I'm always free daytime, any day of the week. I am up for lunch there. Now then, I don't even like speaking on the phone in public, says _ not sure I'm made for fame. You're a really nice guy. And when I kidnapped you, Matt, when you had every right to be a bit bloody nervous, you were great company. So you don't have to film the lunches, of course. You can just meet for lunch. It doesn't have to be. I just thought that as we're all kind of YouTube involved, that might be a fun thing to do. And it would be a good community thing, because if you pop it on a channel or even just in the Facebook group, then it's kind of sharing your little bit of community with the rest of the community. And if you have a really good time, it might encourage other people to do the same. And it just adds another little bit of social element for us all, and the chance to meet and make new friends and all of that sort of thing. Oh, KKC will do lunch with me when he's next in the area. I'd love that. I'd love that. Or, yeah, next time you're relatively near, give me a shout. And because we'd have loads to talk about, because we've got the same neck of the woods in common. Mustard says I would. I'm not sure what he would. I may have, oh, hang on, I've missed some comments here. Right, I read that one, got to that one. Oh, yeah, but talking about Wendy Craig buying lunch. Right, so lunch was 4 of us, and the food was excellent. And lunch came to £22, and one person paid for all 4 lunches. Anybody want to guess? I'll tell you in a minute. It wasn't Wendy Craig, I can tell you that. It's his turn next time, I tell you. That's the second time he's had lunch with us and not paid us sausage, so it's definitely his turn next time. Typhoon Cat says, thank you for the most kind words. I'm most honoured to get such a mention and only some of the Oh, you've changed your name to bloody confuse me. Bloody hell, Liz. I've had a long day. I can't cope with name changes. But yeah, Liz was absolutely lovely. If you ever get a chance to meet her, you really, really should. Eric was a Viking, but now he's a leaking. Yeah, that's a good line. My latest project car has a sticker on the back saying, Jesus is my airbag. What do you think, Reverend Boaty? Should I keep it or bin it? I'd keep it. I mean, it's a laugh, isn't it? Sounds like the car throttle bids when they sit in the kebab shop and buy a car from Facebook. Oh, I don't know about that. But that sounds fun. Where did I get to? Can I do grace? Absolutely. We didn't do grace today. Mustard, we didn't say grace. And we were with a Pastafarian. That's Craig, the heathen's effect on us. Can't believe we didn't say good food, good company, what's there not to like? It was great, wasn't it? Definitely should do that again. Sounds good, Boaty's buying us all a meal. Now, I didn't say that. If you care to re-watch this video, at no point did I say that I would be responsible for the cost of said lunches. Grace can... Right, Joseph is really off this time and says, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. Sound advice there. Take care, Joe. Thanks for popping in. Always good to see you, mate. Boaty's brunches. Boaty's buddies. Oh, these are names for lunches. We should all put together and get a set of chairs and tables to take around in the caravan so it shows we can have a big sit down and have dinner thing. Simon, that is a brilliant idea. I had thought about table and chairs, but yeah, we should get... Yeah, we should club together. I've got, and so that when we're at the shows, we can all have a joint lunch. That would be a really good thing to do. Great idea. Let's do that. Mustard's off, his elbows are hurting. I tell you what, let's wrap this one up. It's I'm liking this social directive and it involves food. Boaty paid, says Simon. That's his guess. Oh, the Kenjoji. Your head lost the character. I got one wrong. If you come to Galston-on-Sea, I will buy you dinner, Boaty, and wine. Thank you, Jimmy Quinn. Where the hell is Galston-on-Sea? Oh, what are you calling the caravan, Boaty? I think we've settled on the obvious. Mustard is willing to go along with it. And I think we've settled on Mr. George Roger Boaty, which I think is just a fabulous name. and it means the caravan has already got a theme tune, so that when you guys enter the caravan, you can sing the Mr. George Roger Boaty. I just think it's such a good name. It deserves to live on somehow, and it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Impulsive, indecisive, intensive. Oh, it's a word that doesn't mean any of those three things when it's not one person or the other. God, I'm getting old when I forget words. Whoa. I'm now entering Mr. George Roger Boaty. Yeah, exactly. No, not annoying. Tricky chap's words. It's not relating to, independent, not independent, but like independent. It's not a name that relates to a mustard thing like 32 Windsor Gardens or Nigella. It's not something that relates to me. It's something that's just slipping inside Mr. Roger Boaty. Not indecisive, not impartial. Oh God, how annoying! But you know what I mean. It's like it's a name that it's just a random name, so it applies equally to me, Mustard, and any of you guys. No, not neutral, not orthodox, not gender. I'm sure it began with an I. I said it earlier, when we were talking about it earlier. I said that we needed a name that was either this word or applied to both of us. And I can't remember what this word was. I'm sure it begins with an I. Oh, I keep wanting to say impartial. Was it impartial? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Indiscriminate, that's kind of close. But the point is, it's a number 2. It's a random name. It doesn't relate to either of us. It's funny, and it's got a theme song. So I think the caravan is going to be called Mr. George Roger Boaty. Roger Boaty. Mr. Roger Boaty, Mr. George Roger Boaty, Mr. Roger Boaty, Mr. George Roger Boaty, Mr. Roger Boaty, Mr. George Roger Boaty. And I will, we could have that playing on the caravan stereo system. When we arrive at shows, we could mount some speakers on the roof and have that playing as we arrive at the show. How cool would that be? Lurpak A380 is off. Good night. There's something else I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, Galston is near Great Yarmouth. Doesn't help me. I don't know where Great Yarmouth is. Is that on the southeast, east, somewhere around there? It's not just around the corner, is it? Anyway, is it? Right, yeah, that's it. I'm going to wrap that up here, folks. Couple of minutes as usual to say goodbyes. Sorry it's a bit shorter than normal, but it's been a fraught day. I'm a bit knackety wackety. I've got loads of stuff I need to do. I'm behind on laundry and household chores and things, what with birthdays and getting ready for today. But hey, Shison is home. Hallelujah. Oh, Simon, did you ask about a video? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you who paid. Mustard very kindly paid for all of us. It was his turn to pay for me, but without even saying a word, he just went and paid for everybody, which was a very, very kind and very generous thing. And really, we should make sure that he gets now, the next 3 meals should be free. So somebody needs to come to lunch with, because I'll buy lunch next week, so it doesn't matter if it's just the 2 of us. But the week after that and the week after that, it would be his turn to pay again. And that wouldn't be fair. So we need somebody else to come to lunch with us, and I'm afraid you'll have to pay. Unless, if you came to lunch with us next week, I would pay, so you would get a free lunch. So don't do that. come to lunch. Only do that if you were going to come the week after and then you pay. In fact, somebody just come to lunch with us next week and pay. And it's not that we're tight-fisted, we're just poor. But yeah, that was very much appreciated. Are you sure he paid? No, we saw him pay. He paid with cash, actual cash. The Queen was blinking with an unexpected shock of the light as that £20 note came out of his wallet. And you think his phone case is knackered, you should see his wallet. Yeah, absolutely, what a gent. Oh, Norwich. Yeah, I know where Norwich is. Community fundraiser for seats and to feed guests. Yep, good shout. We can create a community pot for such things, and many hands make light work. If we all pop a nominal amount in, we can fund all of these things, and everybody can take advantage. Yeah, the Queen hasn't blinked in months. Don't go back to... I would like to apologise to anybody who was offended by some of the earlier comments and feature matter from which I disassociate myself entirely. Oh, and if you want to know what we had for lunch, Craig, Wendy, had he had a doner kebab. Liz had, was it a lamb and pea curry with naan bread? And Mustard had, I took Mustard's recommendation. He said, you should have the same as me, you would like it. And I took him at his word, and I just said, I'll have the same as him. And I did like it very much. It was kebida, some form of, if I say sheikh kebab, you'll probably think of what you think is a sheikh kebab. But technically, sheikh is the name of the oh God, I've forgotten that bloody word now as well. Sodding hell, what's going on? I can't think of the word. But you know the long spiky thing that you cook a sheikh kebab on? Well, a sheikh kebab is called a sheikh kebab because the long spiky thing that you mould the meat on and put in the tandoor, skewer. It's like a really long skewer. And that's how you make a sheikh kebab if you didn't know. You take your keema and you make your keema and you mix it with all of the herbs and spices. And then you hang up it's called a sheikh. That's why it's called a sheikh kebab. The long skewer thing is called a sheikh. And with wet hands, you take the meat and you literally mould it onto the sheikh like that, smoothen it. It's a bit like masturbating an enormously long but very slender penis. You might not want to think about that too much. And then you bung it in the tandoor, and then you slide it off with a cloth and cut it into the pieces that you see. So anyway, this kebida was some form of kebab of that ilk, in that it was skewer baked in a tandoor. But I don't know what's in it, and I didn't ask. I just took Mustard's recommendation, and it came with some chips and some salad, with a really nice hot sauce on the side, and it was absolutely bloody delicious. If I'd have been on my own, I would have licked the plate. And so yeah, me and Mustard had that. There we are. Let's have a look. So yeah, time to say goodnight. Time to say goodnight. He paid with white fivers, yeah. If next week you're paying, I would only want to go to a posh restaurant. I'll tell you where we'll be going next week. Same place, Istanbul. and will be eating in, and I will be filming. So sod your posh restaurant. You know, we're talking about £5 meals here. We're not talking posh restaurants. Staff curry, beef and pea with naan bread. That's right. Yeah, okay, you did put a sorry at the end of it, but that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay, Matt. Saying sorry after the event does not make it okay. Skewer, thank you. Yes, that was the word I was looking for. GPS OMG says it means meat cooked over a charcoal fire. So sheikh kebab means skewered meat. They told me that sheikh is the word for the actual skewer, but there we are. £5 meals at heavy lunch. On that joke, I am saying good night. Thank you all for your company. Sorry, it's all been a bit of a cock up tonight. It's just been one of those days, my loves. And that turned into one of those nights, but never mind. Don't forget, Captain Mustard will, I presume, be doing a live stream at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So make sure that before that happens, you've looked at the pictures and tell him whether it's more podgerable now or back in the day. And unless you all nag me again tomorrow night as to do a post-mustard one, I will see you on Thursday night for the next Boaty's World live stream. Thank you guys. Thank you for helping to make my birthday a wonderful weekend. Thank you for your company tonight, and thank you for being there around the Facebook group. Oh, Wendy Craig is in the Facebook group now, so feel free to rip the piss out of him because he's given it to me non-stop all day today. And that is it. I will see you. Well, I'll see you on Mustard's live stream. He goes on for ages now. He goes on for longer than I did. So I will be nipping into Mustard at about 10:30 when I get home from work. And I'll probably see most of you then. And other than that, I'll see you when you've nothing on. Okay. Good night, my loves. Thank you. Bye-bye. Love you all. Oh, it worked.